but every time we go live, you're like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're like...
Keep the water.
So what, are we doing it from the beginning?
No. Hello again. We're live again. So we broke it. It was so spicy hot in here that we broke the stream. So we're back. I hope you're all still here. Hope you had time to grab yourself a cup of tea and some popcorn.
We also don't know where we cut off.
So we're just going to go for a question that we asked and then let these guys talk it out again. Because if we cut off before this question, then there was some steamy goss that you missed. So we'll try and go again. So, right, hello again, everyone. So we are joined by the Union Development, 3 of our candidates out of the 5. If you want to find out more about the other 2, Kate and Neil, who are not here, go online manifestos. We've got Chloe, Mark and Rob. And we are going to get straight back into it. So, the question we asked was, so all of the university matters aside, what is the one most important issue for the SU at the moment? So do you want to go down the line again?
I said that mine was communication. I genuinely believe that a student union cannot run if it doesn't communicate with the student that it's trying to represent. I think that setting up monthly forums with students to try and find out what issues need to be addressed in the university is really one of the few improvements that needs to be done as quickly as possible. I think that finding out what needs to be addressed first and what affects students the most is how a DSU should run.
I'm not sure where it cut off, but I went on to say, well, the management is still the biggest issue in my mind, but if we are moving away from that, then I'd say there's a large campus, there's a lot of shops, there's stuff like that, but we don't have enough students employed in them. I think we could make more jobs, get more students, more money. We need it.
Yeah.
And for me, it was similar to what Chloe said. It was about transparency, and that I want, as one of my key policies, so I've got 4 key policies in my manifesto, which again you can all read online, as I'm sure you've said plenty of times, about there being a weekly drop-in session with SU officers in the first floor of the building here in the campus centre, so that people can talk about their concerns, problems, issues, not just open to students, staff as well if they want, to talk about problems and issues, and that will help guide what the DSU does, which is really important about how the university is run for the students effectively in an effective manner.
After that, we kind of touched on how these drop-ins would raise engagement. I talked about how engagement in the uni, I think, would go up if we just did more stuff throughout the year, ran more events, did more interesting things on campus that actually engage the student body. There's no better way to advertise than to do, I think. And why shouldn't we do as much as we can to make interesting things happen for the students?
So we talked also a little bit about the emails that go out, filling in students what's coming from the SU. Do you think there's a way that you guys could better that and make it better for engagement? Because I don't know about other people, but I check my emails for my uni degree and it goes to my other folder, so I don't really see it that often. So I'm wondering, how do you think you can reach out to students better?
That's kind of my issue. I mean, like you say, I check my email every day, but it filters to the other folder. The way to resolve it is definitely not to take them out of the other folder. Let's leave them there.
Yeah.
There's too many.
That's a lot, yeah.
But I think just more signs letting people know what's going on. Right now, I think we're mostly restricted to either in the SU, which not everyone goes in, or some of the boards around the centre campus. Just bigger signs. Yeah. I mean, we've got a giant TV
massive telly.
We've got a massive telly out there that just plays.
Only advertises DMU students, which is one of the things in my policies that it seems to me when it was done, I haven't been informed, and I don't think it's on the accounts about how much it cost.
I don't know.
But it was a lot of money, and it, as I say, all it shows is adverts to DMU students who are walking through campus. And we should either use that as the good resource it is to show what's going on in the union, for example, or even in the city centre, stuff that's going on.
Like society things.
Society things, or say this week there's been a show near the Wetherspoons in town about the suffragette Alice Hawkins, who came from Leicester. It was a free show, but it would be good if that was maybe advertised, stuff like that. on the video protect screen.
Yeah.
And as well, there's a Dave's Leicester Comedy Night coming up.
Yeah.
That's got a big crowd.
Yeah.
But more than that, even as a compromise, the TV's pretty much on 24/7. Even if you did it in slots, it would work better for the students to see bits at a time on what's on the TV. So a slot for the student union, a slot for DMU, a slot for what's going on in the city. Like when you've got a 24-hour billboard of advertising, you should be able to divvy it up a bit better.
And as someone whose face appears on that quite often because of the Test Degree show, I can tell you that it is a recurring thing that like I see every time I walk past campus. My big old face appears on there. So like it is always something that people look at when they walk past.
I mean, I have nothing against your face. I'd rather, I would rather Shrek 2 play quite, like, you know. We just something more.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the minute it's just a lot of wasted potential.
Okay, so the last question we have is on Twitter from Kelly. She said, we have many partnerships with colleges in the UK. How do you plan to include them in your development of the union and the university?
Well, first of all, advertise them, because I didn't know that until just now.
So we have actually a schools and colleges department on campus, part of the Marcoms team, who go out to schools, they go to UCAS fairs, and they talk about the university, they talk a lot about like being a student and how university works. And we have partnerships with DMU Local, a lot of colleges and primary schools around Leicester.
We get a lot of primary schools on campus getting tours by students quite regularly.
So how do we think
is this like feeder colleges, etc.?
Yeah, so there's feeder
like
colleges, and also there's
a...
colleges around the United Kingdom that they go to as well. So how do you think that you can include them in your policies and your development of the Students' Union?
I personally would bring a focus onto the student experience in the tours. So I imagine at the minute they're probably quite course related and how the university runs. I'd bring a new side to it of talking about what the university does for you. So DMU Global, the stuff we run on campus during the year, the trips that are available not on DMU Global, just the stuff that the DSU does for students.
I mean, I don't, obviously, I've only just learned this as well, actually. If, like, let's say the paint party. If we could get, let's say, a college in or a secondary school or whatever, when the paint party's going on, or we could just run more events just so they coincide. If I was a college student and I saw the paint party, I would so much.
And obviously a lot of societies as well, which are part of the SU.
I think one of the key aspects, again, that is advertising, isn't it? It's advertising the university to a different audience that maybe wouldn't necessarily consider coming to university. And I think you can't rely on traditional ways of advertising your university when you're trying to advertise it to as many people as possible. I think, so social media is great for that. I know DMU SU and DMU Uni Twitter, for example, have quite good social media campaigns. But I think being able to target that at how a real student experiences university, and not always just being the glam, the positive of it, being that it is hard work, but there is a big reward at the end of it. And I think that there is a problem sometimes. People come to university and expect it to be all going out 3 times a week, not being in problems that some students have. And I think that it's a key issue. I think that you have to experience the real student experience, I think, before you come, so you're prepared, and it's not as much of a shock to the system.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have. But do you guys want to make like one final closing statement, maybe just like a sentence about your campaign or anything?
I'm hoping that we can work towards an independent and proactive student union.
Earlier today, in my manifesto, we're getting into this. In my manifesto, I called for a official DMU mascot called Monty the Lion.
As of this morning, I found out that they have just announced a DMU mascot, which is a lion. If I can get that done in 5 days, imagine what I can do in a year. Fair enough.
For myself, I think that, as is a key aspect of my campaign, as a key aspect of what I think is a real problem at the university, is trust. And I think that my personal campaign and my personal ideas about what will really improve the university from a student's perspective is being able to trust your representatives. And I think that my key issue is about trust, and I think I'm the best candidate of these 5 about trust. and that's what it is. And I'm sure you've probably seen my slogan, which is make DMU trust again.
Yeah. Right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be back soon with our academic candidates.
Welcome back to DSU Question Time. We are your hosts, Flo and Ashton, and we are currently joined by the academic candidates for the SU. Unfortunately, Laura Flowers, Monika Rozalska and Tabras Khan were unable to attend today, but you can find everyone's manifestos online at the DSU website.
And don't forget, if you have any questions for our candidates, tweet us in at Demon TV or at Demon Media, and we'll read your questions out online. I forgot what our society was called, so that went well. It's been a long day. So we are joined by Gavin,
hello,
Francesca and Lauren. Hi. Nailed it. So we've got some questions about the role and about your manifesto specifically. So first of all, that's a question we're asking everyone. What made you guys run for the role? We can go this way if you want.
So I ran for the role because I'd love to take part more in university. So I do student ambassador and student rep, and I just really want to take it the next step further, and then use the 4 years of experience I have at university to help the students with what I've learnt, really.
Oh.
So over the past 2 years I've been here. I've served as a course rep for international relations and politics in the BAL faculty, and also I'm currently serving as a student champion here at Montford Students' Union. So why I wanted to go for this role is that I do a lot of academic committees already, so I thought that maybe that I should go for it, just because academics is such a vital part of our university life. So it should be at the forefront of the union policy.
Cool.
I thought I would give something new a try because I'm a course rep for history and I'm a student ambassador, so I do a lot of the open days. And I essentially went out on a limb and decided to try something new that could give some good experience for my CV and placements, possibly.
Cool, perfect, thank you very much. So, so you guys are either course reps or student reps, they all sort of know what's going on. So how would you ensure that there's continuity with the course reps and the SRCs?
Well, it's quite simple. We need more course reps on courses. We need that student voice when as I am elected as the academic executive, is that I will take these course reps and I will take these SRCs to the highest levels of the university to make sure that student voices are heard, because we pay nearly £9,000, we pay over £9,000 a year. So we shouldn't allow the university to dictate where money is going and where resources are going. So we need those student voices on those committees.
Do you guys have anything else to add?
So I'd say from my experience of being a course rep, I find that I don't have much of a student voice, because I could say a point, but it would only go so far and I don't ever hear feedback. So I feel like if I was elected, I'd make sure there's more experiences and opportunities for course reps, so they feel they have more of an important role and more authority to make sure the student voice is heard, and that they get good feedback and they know what's going to change after they say what problems might be occurring in the courses.
I'll just finally add communications between course reps and departmental staff, because obviously there's a glitch somewhere between students and student reps, but actually talking to our academics, I would probably focus on.
This is the question sort of from me, and I think that some students might feel this. We're both on the drama course, and I don't really know what my course rep does. I don't really know, if I said anything, what they do with the information, where this goes, or what this could actually change. So could you explain sort of what a course rep does and what their role is? Because I think some people just don't know, or just don't.
Would look up to them as a higher authority rather than just their peers.
So especially, you've mentioned the drama course, so you should really know who your course rep is. That's the foremost #1 thing that you should really know, because they are the ones that will put information up to the higher levels of your faculty. So I would say that if you don't know your course rep, then what we should be doing as a union is making sure that course reps get out more, and course reps should be have the platform like we do to be able to convey what they're doing here at this fantastic university. So, but also I would say that the course rep should be allocating time where the information that you give to them is properly funneled through the correct channels, but as well as coming back down with results and with answers. So as, again, the academic executive, I ensure that results are being made by our course reps.
I would just add to that. So as a course rep, we in history, we have biannual meetings with the department, and we have annual meetings within the faculty, and that is explaining the sort of complaints that have been mentioned before and that students put in, and I would really focus on making sure that students are aware of what happened during those meetings and the sort of ways that they go about putting complaints in, and making sure that students are aware that they're actually allowed to. Because I know a lot of people I've spoken to feel like, oh, I can't possibly comment on that, like, I don't have the right as a student, but you absolutely do. And I think it's part of the thing as an academic executive and as a course rep to make sure that students know they can.
Fair enough. So, Lauren, you talked a little about student voice earlier. It's apparently very well valued around DMU and in the SU, but what do you think could be improved, and how and sort of why do you think that?
So I think the relationship with tutors and the course reps could be like more equal, so then students would see that they could talk to the course reps and not just their tutors. And I also feel that not many students know who their personal tutor is. So I also said in my manifesto that I would make people more aware of who their personal tutor was, and that they could have support and guidance throughout their 3 years, as well as just so if they have a complaint, rather than going to the course rep, that they could go to their personal tutor as well, and that could be like personal issues outside of the course as well.
Do you think that, obviously we're all over 18 at uni, we're all treated as adults, we live away from home, do you think that students should take actually their own initiative to find out who their personal tutor is? Because I know that we get regular emails from our personal tutors, and some students just don't use their kind of head and
So I feel if students, I asked a lot of people and they don't know who their personal tutor is.
To be fair, I didn't know who my personal tutor was until about 2 months ago, and I'm a third-year student. So.
Yeah, so most people have their own tutors, don't know that they're actually their personal tutor. So I feel that if there was more meetings, so like when I was in first year, we had a meeting with the personal tutor, and if someone didn't go to that, they would have no idea. And like obviously not everyone checks their emails. So I feel like if there was more of a network with students and tutors, and there was this more of like a friendly environment, they would feel like more inclined to go to them for support, and maybe like not use their own initiative, just know that it is there if they need it or not.
Fair enough. We have some questions from Twitter. So do you want to ask one of the questions?
Yeah. So what do you all think is the best way to engage with postgrad students?
Do you want to start this, Francesca? We seem to go this way.
Yeah. So postgrads, I know I've had complaints about not having equal activities and equal opportunities. So there's a lot of complaints about postgraduate open days being overshadowed by the undergrads, and so I know particularly within my department there's an idea of merging them. And so engaging with postgraduate students is really the same way engaging with undergrads, making sure they know what's available to them, how to complain, how to access what's available, so through Demon Media, through campaigning, through the use of the SU and this fantastic facility. It's just using the same things that are available to students, but just making sure that postgrads are aware, because obviously it's harder to come to campus if you're not there, it's harder to fit in with full-time jobs, and it's harder to, in general, fit in comparison to, say, an undergrad who's living away from home for the first time.
So for me, I would say that how we could really engage with postgraduates is actually bringing them down to the SU, and this is what I would do to all year groups, undergrad, postgrad, alumni. I would say I would like to host a monthly town hall meeting where I'd literally just bring everyone into a room and with a notepad and pen going, what's the issue? What is bothering you, and getting the answers, researching it, coming back to them, personally sending my personal communications to them, going, so this is what I've done, this is how I've done it, these are your next steps, and this is the way that I can help out with you. And so I would never ever leave any student behind. So from the postgraduate thing is, we'll bring them, give an opportunity to voice their concerns, and then I will go away and research, talk to course reps, talk to SRCs, talk to deans, talk to everyone, as many people as possible, and find out where's the solution that we can find to give postgraduates that support that they need to really excel in their studies.
So I feel with postgrad students, most people in their last year at university are unaware that they can apply internally to university. So I feel like even before you become a postgrad student, just to make people aware of DMU afterlife, so they would have the support of the library forever and the gym and stuff. So I feel like just make people more aware of what opportunities are already available, and then also if there is a concern that they're not enough opportunities, to work out what postgrad students would want and need, and then make those happen for them. But I feel like for fine art postgrad students, they're not really in uni much of the time. Their spaces always look empty. So I feel if they mingled in with the other years, and say we have gurus and grasshoppers is where the third year students teach first year students. Perhaps if postgrads had this with first to third years, then they could get to know each other on a friendly basis. Yeah, exactly. So
that sounds like a really cool scheme. I've never heard of that before, actually.
Yeah, no, they really like it. Yeah. So I'm friends with first years now, and it's like we're all in the same year, but obviously we're not. So it's a good way to mingle and stuff.
That sounds really interesting. I've actually never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, Gavin. Yes. So assessment changes have already started happening, if not have already happened, and they are quite diverse now. Mm-hmm. So how does your manifesto deal with this?
So again, I totally understand that our assessment system is diversing, and it's a really great thing to see that it going, but I see it that it can go further. We can really take it up a notch. We can actually make it a university leading nationally in the way that students are assessed. So what I'm proposing to students is that they should have the ability of choice, because choice is everything when it comes to university, from modules to and why not assessments. So if you're a fine art student, why not being able to go out to a school and go and teach some year 5, year 6 students art or something, maybe, and actually generally do some good in our fantastic city. So instead of just being inside the DMU bubble, why not burst the DMU bubble and really take what this university is great for and literally take it out to the community where our talents will really shine.
Do you not think that's going to make it much harder for lecturers to assess? Because obviously they have so much on their plate already. They have, just in our year, they've got, I think one of my lecturers has about 3 separate classes, and that's just in my year for 3 separate modules that all have 2 assessments. And then obviously it's changed for us this year, where we've only now got around about 2 assessments in each module, whereas before we had about 4, which in some ways is good, in some ways is not as good. But a lot of lecturers spend so much time marking or doing things on things that have a very specific marking criteria. Do you not think it makes it much harder for them to be able to mark things if they're such a wide variety of assessments?
I would say that it goes back to the choice thing. So I think that students should be able to opt in or opt out of this new diverse assessment system. So at the beginning of the year, they can opt in or opt out when what assessments that they would like to do. Would they rather be hands-on practical and go out to the city, or would they rather be that strict criteria like essays, reports, group work and all that? Because all the students will choose what they are best suited at. So if you're an English student, you'll most likely want to do an essay. or if you are a politics student like myself, I'd rather go out into the city and go and raise awareness for the importance of voting, for example. It literally depends on the individual mind of the individual student of whether they want to opt in or opt out of this scheme.
Yeah, sorry, just to pick holes in this,
Yeah,
just it's a new thing. So, for lecturers, just because it's simply they have like a 28-day turnaround, something like that for essays and modules and stuff. Will they on that have to mark 2 separate types of exams in the same amount of time? As well, so instead of getting rid of it like essays and having them to have to read like 5,000 words by like 30 different people, they now have to do say 5,000 words of 15 different people and then mark this other group who've gone on hands-on as well as like the same thing. And it's whether or not the degrees they come out with are the same thing.
Of course. So what I would say is that myself as hopefully the next academic executive would sit down with the faculties and see what's best for them, and then see what's also best for students and try and work out a compromise between lecturers and students. So I would say that if you're doing a hands-on topic or you're doing a hands-on assessment, that in the opt-in scheme that you agree to have a longer turnover day, if you know what I mean, for deadlines and results and assessments, to allow the lecturer or the group of lecturers to peer mark, and deliberate over that final grade. So yeah, it's all again about the choice that students make if they wish to opt in or opt out.
Cool, thank you very much. I think we have run out of time.
Can we give Francesca one quick question?
Yeah.
What experiences caused you to write your manifesto, and then we'll do final statements?
Yeah.
Experiences that caused me to write my manifesto. From working on open days and hearing students, their sort of complaints and potential students and the sort of things that they want to achieve. It really was taking from their experiences and writing from that, and work from student rep and stuff. So hearing from postgraduate students, from hearing from members of staff talking about things that they want to see improved, that was the sort of stuff that influenced me in wanting to write it.
Cool, perfect. So you guys want to make your closing statements, try and keep it short, and then we will move on to our next group of candidates, so we can go down the line if you want.
So I'd love to be elected as the next academic executive, just so I could carry on the 4 years that I've had here and show the support and the experiences I've learned, and to just pass this on and just to make it a happy, carefree learning place for DMU. And I've had such a good time here that I just want to carry this on and just make it a better place for everyone, really.
So I would say to any student that is watching, I would say the time is now, our time is now. We will make the next chapter for DMU. It's only us that can do this, so I really want you to come and join me on this journey as your new academic executive to take DMU to new heights, to new levels, and really show the entire country that we can do it.
And so I'd like to be voted for academic executive because I want to create a sort of welcome, open environment for all students, postgrad, undergrad, alumni, everyone, and to give back to the community, which has actually done so much for me since I've joined.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you to Lauren, Gavin and Francesca for joining us for DSU Question Time. We'll be joined with the opportunities and engagement candidates just in a couple of minutes after this short break.
Hello and welcome back. We've got our last debate of the evening and we are joined by the opportunities and engagement candidates. That's what I was looking for. I forgot the word candidates, said it a lot today. We have got 5 of our candidates here, but Vinod Kumar Shakradhafula, I'm really sorry if I butchered that, was invited but wasn't able to attend. But again, his manifesto can be found online, as will everyone's who we've spoken to today. So make sure if you have any other questions about what they've said, have a look at the manifestos, all the information's on there. So we are joined by 5 of our candidates, as we've said. We've got Janetta, nailed it, Joe, Sid and Pierre at the end. So we'll ask them some questions and then we will find out a little bit more about them. So the question we're asking everyone is, what made you guys want to run for the role? So we can go along if you'd like.
So I'm started.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think this is really excited to contribute to societies, to work with them, to make their society lives easier. And yeah, I think it's like such a great opportunity to meet a lot of like great personalities and like help them as well to create what they want to create, like lifetime memories, because this is the position when we can help them.
Cool, perfect. No, yeah, I agree with Janetta.
Thank you.
I ran last year and I've been part of DSU on and off since my first year, so I kind of had like my eyes on this position for a while. In terms of the experience for this role, because I've been a part of RAG and last year, even this year, and then all the other societies being presidents of it. So it's really interesting to like kind of take that forward and give everyone else the opportunity and try to make everyone's experience a lot better. Off to you.
I really kind of felt this was the role for me because I really love DMU, I love the people, I've really enjoyed my time here, and I've found that I've made some of my best friends over through societies and through groups. But I have noticed that some people don't get the same experience as me and don't seem to love it as much as me, and I kind of want to be able to change that. We get so many great opportunities, so many fantastic things thrown at us, and I just want to help other people engage with that and get the best out of university.
So why did you run for this role?
I just like the way I've been working before. I've been involved in a lot of activities. I've been chair for 2 societies. And I love what I did, and I just wanted to go for the same thing at a higher level. So I just wanted to go for this role. That's why I chose to go for engagement and opportunities.
Pierre?
I like a challenge, yeah. I was obviously chair for a few societies as well in my time, but I've seen what it takes to take on a role such as an executive, and I just want to take on the challenge, and I'm confident I can make some changes that are really phenomenal, so I took the chance.
Cool, so we'll start with some individual questions because we'll make sure that you guys get time to talk.
Yeah. So, Janetta, what would you actually do if you were elected in this role?
The first and main thing, I will listen to everyone, what everyone has to say, because I don't want to promise things because I don't know if I can manage them in the future, but only one thing I can promise now is I'm going to listen to everyone, and every single person who wanna ask or need help, international student or home student, because I know how hard is it, because like English is not my first language, so I understand that some of people can be scared to do something here at DMU, so that would be the main thing. And later, of course, I will try to do something with this. And also I was thinking about, because I'm a postgraduate student, I wish to all opportunities for postgraduate students be more flexible, like DMU Global and placement, and to take from the DMU as much as we can.
Cool, perfect. So Aisha, can you talk about a little bit about the empowerment conference and how you would engage students with it?
Of course, so last year I went to my first for International Women's Day. We had Bijna, one of DMU's alumni, to come in and talk to us, and she gave an empowering talk on what it was like, and she started from where we are now, and she's made it into one of like the top 10 in the country for being a woman in the marketing and computing industry. From that, I was really inspired, so I want everyone else at DMU to have that culture to constantly feel motivated and inspired. In terms of the alumni program we already have, I want to work on that and expand it a bit more so we can have alumni come in and talk to all students in different faculties. So after students graduate, they have like that link that they can go and talk to. So it's kind of like a mentor in a way, because after you graduate, it can all be a bit tough in terms of like finding a job or fitting into like the real workplace. So if you have someone you can talk to and confide in, that's something I want to work on in terms of my empowerment conferences.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Joe, in your manifesto, you've talked about students not having opportunities. What opportunities do you feel are missing?
I think, as I've said, there are a lot of opportunities that you don't have to look far, and there's trips, there's every course seems to be kind of, they throw stuff at you, but they're a lot, it takes a lot to kind of join in on these activities. So for me, I guess my main priority is about kind of signposting, making things more clear. I think that all too often I've done some fantastic things. People have said to me, well, when was this? Or how did you find out about this? Or, and a lot of it is through email, which some students just don't use email, don't like it, they prefer online, some people prefer it more. And I think for me, a huge priority is not just offering new things, but also kind of the things that we have making better, so we have great trips. But a lot of people find it frustrating that they can only go on trips with their courses. There's not many trips that are that any course can go on. We have the New York trip, which is great, but there isn't much kind of socialisation between certain courses unless you join societies. And societies aren't for everyone. I've certainly loved them, but some people, they just don't want that. They want to meet people through other ways. So I think for me, diversifying what we offer and kind of also working on what we can and we have at the minute is a big important thing.
Perfect, thank you. So Sid, just before we start off, I'd like to ask you to put your phone down just while we're talking so that other candidates can respond. Also, we want to know, sort of a question from Twitter that we got was, how much would the rail cards cost? Because you said in your manifesto you were going to get every student a rail card. So how much would it cost, and where's this money going to come from?
Yeah. About the rail cards, it's not for every student. It's only for the students who are going to apply for the rail card, and the rail card usually cost around £30 for a student. It's around 16 to 25. It's for 16 to 25 age group people. They have they can apply it for £30, I guess.
Yeah.
And if I can negotiate with DMU that the part of the money that we are spending on, either be it £9,000 or £16,000, some part of it can be allocated for a subsidy for student rail card. Can be either anything at 10% or 20%. That gives us £3 or £5 off on a rail card. Say if I can go and apply for a rail card and I come back with the receipt, I can just claim it back or reimburse the money from the subsidy that university earlier allocates me. That's how I plan for it. So yeah. I paid £25 for a £30 rail card. So that's how I want to make it done.
Obviously, like there's that works in theory, but if you're saying it's about £30 per student, there's about 24,000 students on campus.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of money. I'm not going to do the maths now because I know I'm going to get it wrong, but that's like around about, let's say, like £75,000.
That's why I say it needs to be discussed with the university that if some part of the money that we pay, can it be utilized for a student subsidy? And I have something else on my manifesto, which I updated it. Having a loan for students, limiting it to either £100 or £50, which a student can redeem it anytime they have any type of emergency, which they can reimburse back to the university when they are fine with it, and that will be kind of emergency funding for students who are in need.
Yeah.
Mainly for international students who don't have it at the moment.
Fair enough.
So I actually got my rail card with when I signed up for a student bank account, which is promoted with a lot of different bank accounts.
Yeah.
We've just worked out it's gonna, if we kind of gave everyone a student rail card for free, it would cost over £700,000.
Exactly.
Would this not be better in a different department like welfare, or obviously it was mentioned earlier today, like about kind of we've got some extra
union
funding.
development, for example.
What do you think it should stay there, or do you think other places in your manifesto that it could go?
it should of course be on the people who are going to govern it, but it's a union, and it is done by a decision is made by a group of students, just not by the individuals. So the idea will be conveyed to the people who are going to take care of it, and it should be under welfare, according to me.
Thank you. Pierre, how will you get societies to communicate between each other, like you say you will in your manifesto?
At the moment, we've got a group chat that we all sort of speak in sporadically. But I think by cultivating more better relationships with societies, we can get them more proactive, collaborating with each other. I mean, recently we had a group chat with the cultural societies, and we managed to we had a Black History Month event that was really massive, and that's because we spoke more, we met up, we had the group chat going, but it was more everyone's proactive. At the moment, it's like I'll message the group chat when I need something, whereas if next year I could be like, oh, we're doing this, I want this society to be involved, this society to be involved. So directly confronting and bringing everyone into the circle of projects.
Do you think there's a better way that we can network as a union to help these kind of relationships between societies? I know with Demon, we're always trying to get societies involved, but I think because we're such of a large scale society or student group, people get quite put off when they see loads of people in red jumpers running around campus.
True.
So how do you think we can, bigger groups or smaller, less known societies can kind of get their names out there and really network with different groups?
Because we have, like I say, found it really hard, especially with Demon TV, to get societies and students involved and sports teams involved, because when we have like a whole producer who's dedicated to like raising awareness of societies or working with societies, and they just don't really want to know, they just don't really have the time, and they just don't want to really get involved. So I just want to know, like, and I suppose I can open this up to the floors, like how societies can get involved with one another.
I mean, I think the best, I'm going to use this word again, collaboration. That's teamwork makes the dream work. So if I'm a big society, for instance, I'm the African Caribbean Society. If I now say to the Caribbean Society, recently started up, let's do an event together, then we come together, we're a massive group, people are going to know more about the Caribbean Society. So for instance, we worked with the Caribbean Society on their first injunction event, and now it's become a regular event. People know more about the Caribbean Society, and it's a developing society. So I think teamwork makes the dream work. So collaborating with the smaller societies and the bigger societies.
Does anyone have any response to that?
I think it can be, definitely I was saying this collaboration is a key thing, but I've come from several smaller societies, and often it's very easy, especially for the SU, for these people to get left behind. You know, there's this kind of, I know that there's a chairs group chat, and I could list probably about 5 sites that aren't in there and that don't know how they would go about. They don't feel that they have the way to access into the SU to ask for that. And I think that's the thing where that you have to be very much on it, and kind of whoever's in there that is getting out and being quite, I'm not saying forceful because there's a tap, but you have to be quietly like, come on, engage with us. We want and need you to engage with us. I think, and we see this quite a lot, that people are left out or feel left out. And I don't think there's an easy fix. And I think obviously collaboration is a great thing, but I also think we need to work on kind of communication internally as well. I think that there's a lot of things, especially for me, a huge thing. I want to be on kind of time saving and kind of working out ways to make things more efficient, because there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of things. And I just think that there's got to be an overall change of how we view societies and how we engage with them, that we need them, not kind of they need us. We need them.
Anyone have anything else?
No, I want to add, I absolutely agree with Pierre and Joe, but the idea that I had in mind in terms of getting all the societies involved is kind of create a directory. So if a society needed something for music, they could go to a music department or any music society. We have Acapella, we have DMU Barbers, we have Demon Media. So kind of have that online directory, so if they needed anything, they know where to go, and it would be a lot cheaper for them in terms of funding because it's another society. Apart from that, we could have like little mixers every now and then to get people together, and then just here in the SU or whatever is available, and just kind of give exposure to each other, but in like a larger event, which is what I had in mind in terms of getting societies. Because a lot of societies do want to get involved, but they're kind of afraid because they're holding themselves back because they're not either bigger than the other societies or they're smaller than the other societies. So I just want to kind of break that barrier and then get people working together, and it's so much easier with the unity.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Was your question
about how to get societies to work together? Yeah.
Many societies, they don't know that other societies exist. Example, if I need a photographer for my society, many people don't know there's a photography society that can help them with it. From my opinion, everything needs to be online, so that, I mean, of course, the societies are being published online, but it's not visible much. So societies should be encouraged more than what it is being done now to make use of the space here, so that some society like mine, a small society, can know that other society exists and they can know what kind of help they can help me. That's what I mean. That's it, yeah.
Do you have anything quickly to add? Or?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I agree with my friends, because I'm in the International Business Society, and basically we just create our society. So this is just few members, and to be honest, we want to start, but we don't know how to start. Yeah. So that's a really good option to help the smaller societies and those ones who just create, to like help them like introduce to all the students, because I know from my friends that we have a lot of societies, a lot of opportunities, but students don't know about them. We had this Freshers Week, and there was like all the societies introduced, but a lot of students, they joined later, so they didn't even know. Yeah. I know a lot of students who sometimes they're like, oh, DSU, okay, I'm gonna go to website. So like everyone knows about this, but in the same time, a lot of students, they have no idea. So that would be like very useful to introduce those like small societies as well.
Yeah. Cool, so we have run out of time, unfortunately. Security are literally taking plugs out right now. So what we want you guys to do, just quickly give like a quick closing statement, just a sentence, just to why people should vote for you. So we can go down the line if you want.
If you're gonna vote for me, you won't be disappointed, and because I'm gonna listen everyone, all the ideas, plans, opportunities, and I will just do the best what I can do to help and to listen everyone.
No, if you vote for me, well, I kind of have the experience for it. I'm very dedicated and hardworking, so I'll try to make sure I prove all my manifesto points correctly. So yeah.
I have a firm belief that the Students' Union it's all about the students. If it doesn't cater for students, their needs, and doesn't fulfil what they need from their time at university, there's simply no point of it being around. It isn't a Students' Union. And I commit myself to trying and making it the best place it is for all students.
Cool.
The manifesto I have made is not my opinion, it's the feedback of the opinion of different students whom I've surveyed over the last few months. And if I win, it's going to be them who's winning, because I want to have their voice heard. And I just want everyone to look into each one of us manifesto and just vote for whoever they feel would make the union a better place. That's it.
Perfect, thank you.
You guys will see my manifesto. If you vote for me, you're going to have a very memorable year at DSU.
Perfect, thank you guys ever so much. So that is all we have time for today. But don't forget, all the manifestos of all of our candidates, both here and the ones we're not able to attend, are on the DSU website, so make sure to check those out.
Voting is now open. You can come to the campus centre, right in the centre of campus, to vote. You do need your student card, but there are also lots of different hubs around campus. All the information is online and at the union.
And it does close on Monday, so make sure to get those votes in quick, because every vote makes a difference. And if you want an SU that represents you, then you need to vote, because this is your voice and this is your SU.
We will be hosting a pre and post results night next week.
Next Wednesday, which is elections result night, so do tune into that. That's all we have time for. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been Ashton and Flo.
We have.
So,
Thank you.
See you soon.
See you soon.